Taurus Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your 7-card draw. What do I need? Shadow read for this full moon to new moon, February into March 2022. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal, for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle, link in the description box, creator on Patreon, patreon.com/drawingthecircle, because I'm the Archangel of Lyons. Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hey, my fellow earth signs, Virgo that I am, ready to serve, ready to rock and roll. Just did some breath work, some yoga. I'm ready. Caffeinated. Let's do this. If you're new to the channel, a 7-card draw is just one card from 7 different decks, getting you clues, tips, and hints about a specific astrological timeline, in this case a waning moon, from full to new, hence the shadow work, the letting go, the releasing, the waning aspect of it, right? To make room for the new at new moon. And I do recommend you check out the 5-card draw, what do I need, new to full. Check out those mantras in there, and if you've been following, that's why I always write them down. Well, I have a clipboard, I write all of them down, so it's easy for me to do that. So that you're really ready for this full moon, because let's talk about it. We're looking at the full moon in Leo, but it goes void, of course, at the same time it goes full, so you can catch the waxing side for the full moon magic, certainly. That is on Wednesday, February 16th, 11:56 a.m. A little early in the morning for me to be casting. I'll probably do it the night before. Leo moon on a Tuesday feels good for a full moon. But then we're looking at, like I said, the waning moon to the new moon in Pisces, Wednesday, March 2nd, 7:52 p.m. So that means we are going to be in dark moon in Aquarius, and maybe even a chunk of it in Pisces. I'll check the math on that at some point. So it is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It's going to get you clues, tips, and hints, chakras, a mantra, all sorts of stuff to help you navigate this so that you can do the shadow work necessary. And remember, as you heal, you help everybody heal. So it's not just about us individually, right? There is a larger purpose. So let's do this. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. Do check your other signs, by the way, because we have more than one situation going on. Your sun might have one different than your moon. The common denominator is you. So let's do this. Both feet on the floor. Breathe. Enough exposition. Let's do the divination. Using the Caroline Mace archetype cards, I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of the General Assembly, the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, the spirit animals and totems, as well as the pantheon of all pantheons. For the Taurus Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, what is the dominant 8th chakra archetype hovering over their head, right? Changing the electromagnetic dynamics of every chakra underneath it, their energy field, what they attract, what they repel, and an indication of the soul power being developed from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, hence the shadow work for the Taurians, this full to new. Oh, the king archetype, masculine family archetype. Ooh, the king archetype. Now, Caroline Mace talks a bit about the king archetype in a couple of her lectures. You can find them on YouTube, I'm sure. Thousands of them. Masculine family archetype. There are 9 different families. There's also the feminine archetype, and on and on and on. But when she talks about the sacred contracts of America, she goes... America does not do well with the king archetype. The queen archetype seems to be, queen work, yes, because that's part of the archetype too. But I think, well, you have to look on what America, at least, the War of Independence and all that stuff. The king archetype in its shadow, excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without right? Not that we haven't been challenged with it. Hey, we still kind of are. I mean, it's the ultimate toxic masculinity, if you want to go there. This is masculine family archetype. And entitlement, according to Carolyn Mace, is the deadly sin of luxury. And it's connected to the solar plexus. Yeah. Yeah. Anger and rage and boundaries being violated left, right, and center. The light attribute, however, now as toxic as that sounds, catch the gold, right, from the lead. Enlightened, benevolent leadership benefiting those in your charge. And let's be clear, this is not about biological gender. This is over your head, so to speak, right? So there is a lesson here for you in the shadow work. You may not be playing the role of the king, but you're developing the soul power from lead to gold, or at least that's your opportunity. That's your mission, should you choose to accept it. Good morning, Mr. Phelps. Flashback to the 70s. All right. We are going to do Daughters of the Moon Tarot for the next 4 chakras down. The crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the interior world, the feminine energy, your experience of this, and certainly where the shadow work begins. Throat chakra is choice. All right, I'll do the shadow work. All right, so let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. And here we go, as I call upon my goddesses of earth, the sign of Taurus, powers of the north, please leave the card in my hand for the Taurus collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign watching this video. Receiving this reading, what's going on in their internal world, their yin internal world, their emotional, mental, willpower, spiritual power in terms of that king archetype. And some indication of the shadow work for a shadow read. Please leave the card in my hand. I'd rather have the right card in my hand for my beloved earth sign brothers and sisters and sure conflict. 4 of flames in this deck, which would be 4 of wands, and you don't think of the 4 of wands necessarily as a conflict card. You do in 5 of wands, right? You see that in the Rider Waite. But Daughters of the Moon plays this a little bit differently. What I've always found fascinating about this card, because, you know, people say it's the engagement card. It's like, not in this deck. There is one dragon feeding the flames of 2 archers pointing arrows at each other, right? So what is that one dragon about? What is the core lesson? This could totally be a throat chakra thing of you really in conflict of, well, if I do this, that'll happen, but if I do this, that'll happen, right? And it could be a choice between shadow and light, lead and gold. You could be dealing with this in a situation in your life, another person, but really it's to empower you to make the more enlightened, benevolent choice here, benefiting those in your charge. Even if you do it, I just heard this morning, my guides were talking to me, like, if everybody would just lead and teach by example. I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, right? It's not about what you say. It's about what you do, and more importantly, why you do it. Like, what's the internal motivation? So certainly dealing with the conflict, but kings are handed conflicts every day, right? Off with their heads, which is the Queen of Hearts, not the King of Hearts. Let's do the outside here, particularly because it's a masculine family archetype. We're using the Mythic Tarot for the masculine energy, looking at yourself from the outside in, you from the inside looking out, maybe. Usually it's holographic. It could be that. Certainly 2 kings dealing with each other archetypally. That's what you call a war. 2 kings in conflict. So let's see what hits the table here. Lower 3 chakras are about relationships, your groups, your tribes, your associations, even like politically, racially, all of that is root chakra. Your relationships with another human or another thing. Second chakra, umbilical. Solar plexus, and what I said about that deadly sin of entitlement is your relationship to yourself, your personal power, your honor code, your boundaries, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't, and that might be part of this conflict. Breathe. Not that the urge isn't there. The urge could be there, but don't burn down the village. Right? You want to alchemize it. Yeah, that's what shadow work is about. You know, whatever arises, love that. But at the same time, don't burn down the village. As I call to my gods of earth, the sign of Taurus. Powers of the North, please, mythic tarot, the masculine energy, the yang dynamic, inside out, outside in, lower 3 chakra dynamic, particularly with the king archetype, a masculine family archetype. What's going on here for the Tauruses this full to new? 4 flames, 4 wands. You got the same card in 2 different decks. You have no idea how rare that is. It's about a double whammy as you got, considering there's only 2 tarot cards in this 7-card draw. Come now. So look, I'm going to say that we've got 2 very, very different interpretations of this energy. I will say this, 4s, well, you have the stability of the 3, initial stability, something that you can build on. The 4s are usually about rest and stabilization. So this could be you're being given the time and the space and the setup on the outside that you need here in order to deal with the conflict, but that there is something very holographic going on here where the inner and the outer are mirroring each other, which for a king, you know, might really help you reflect. It's a mirror, like to take the time and really see, well, what is the dragon? Because it's so easy to pick one side versus the other, but a conflict means there's a pull in both directions, right? Like a little bit of a tug of war, depending. But it's minor arcana. This will pass, but how are you going to pass the test? Which it's always litmus test. It's not pass or fail, really. The divine doesn't work in pass or fail. It's like checking your pH balance, all right? It's like, where are you on this? We'll send it back around if you need to keep doing this. It's fine. The compassionate response of the universe, says Gary Zukov, Seed of the Soul. We just go, why does this keep happening? So, I mean, I love that 4 of Wands on the outer. The dynamic between the 2, you feel the energy? The dynamic between the 2, this is a lot of fire for an earth sign. Check your other signs if you've got, you know, planets in a fire sign there. This feels very dynamic for a king. Oh, and there's a king here in the card. This is Jason and the Argonauts before they go and get the Golden Fleece. They're already on the island where the fleece is, but they're setting up camp, right? They're getting ready. Getting ready for what, though? That's where it becomes truly a general read. Only you know that for yourself. All right, the first of 3 bookie book reads, Cope. They're good. The Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. The mantra to help you through this. I always put them in my readings because they really help me, right? Particularly leading by example, right? You share that which works for you and understand not everything is for everybody. Breathe. As I call upon the Ascended Masters, General Assembly, because this conflict could be about anything, a king's conflict. What is the perfect healing mantra for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, so they can alchemize that king archetype in the 8th chakra with that conflict on the inner, and that 4 of Wands, stabilizing things on the outside, really getting ready for the next thing. That's why even in the Rider-Waite deck, it's that idea of a wedding procession coming, but they're not under the canopy yet, because the 5s are a-coming. So please, perfect healing mantra that they can work for this, to help them heal what needs to be healed, the shadow work and all of that, this full to new, March 2022, illuminating the truth. I am willing to see things clearly. No matter the outcome, this is my clairvoyant mantra. I'm willing to see things clearly, no matter the outcome, which is saying even if I don't like what I see, I would rather see things clearly, no matter the outcome. Now, illuminating obviously talks about light, right? Light is truth. So we can see through a lens darkly. There, I just gave you New Testament. It's an eclectic witch for you. I just read a lot. And speaking of read a lot, let me read you what Matt Kahn has to say. I am willing to see things clearly. Willing, throat chakra, to see things clearly, third eye. No matter the outcome. When the truth is illuminated, you are no longer willing to settle for opinions, but instead yearn for a direct reflection, like in a mirror, like I said, that can shift fear and apprehension into higher vibrations of acceptance. So you see it for what it is, and you go, oh. Right? That could be that Four of Wands too, that, oh. Okay, that resting balance kind of sort of. In the illumination of truth, it doesn't matter how much life gets inconvenienced or disrupted. Instead, the recognition of fact versus falsehood allows you to move past the shattering of expectations to commune with the reality beyond the horizons of your ingrained ideas. When the blinders are taken off, when you see it for what it is, you may not like it, but it's better than being tossed around by illusions, lies, illusions, deceptions, delusions, and the hardest ones are the ones that we really believe are the truth, right? But they're not. Not all of them are. Some of them are. We're all one. There. That's a universal truth. This mantra is ideal for recovering from betrayal, healing abandonment, and dealing with distrust, with this internal conflict. Just remember, if you're dealing with somebody who has got that toxic masculine energy in any way, shape, or form, family member, you know, someone at work, right? Maybe a political official, right? It's a mirror. It's showing you something about your opportunity to do the shadow work, right? That the excessive feelings of entitlement. Entitlement is a deadly sin, and it's not one of the 7 mildly inconvenient boo-boos. No, it is one of the 7 deadly sins, and it is deadly to relationships. It wreaks havoc on the cell tissue. It's just a nightmare. Okay. Not to mention upset tummies, solar plexus. Let's keep going. It's a powerful read here, and this could very well be creative conflict as well. So let's ask the higher selves. The Whispers of Love Oracle, the party turned her deck. All of a sudden the romance card hits the table. It's like, oh, left turn at Albuquerque. So let's see what this is about from the higher self's point of view. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, what is the whisper of love for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading? What's the piece of information, inspiration, insight needed for them to alchemize this king archetype with the conflict within and the 4 of Wands on the outer, illuminating truth? This full to new. Be supportive. Make a genuine effort to show you care. Be supportive. Be supportive. Make a genuine effort to show you care. Now, I could see that here in the 4 of Wands, right? That stable fire. It's like, yes. So if this is a political thing, and I don't necessarily mean just political and global or local politics, could be, but even like politics within a family, it's like, okay, I'm really conflicted about this, but I'm gonna be supportive. I'm gonna show that I care, and on the outside, I'm gonna hold it together, and I'm gonna do this in a balanced way, right? There's a certain stability to the 4s. Like I said, they're about rest, R-E-S-T, or B-S-T-E-C-T, whatever, so that you can illuminate the truth, and teaching, leading by example here. Just remember, well, here, you may not have heard this before. When I learned it, I never forgot it. Thank you, Carolyn Mace. St. Teresa of Avila said, the only thing we are entitled to is hope. And that puts things in perspective. It certainly does. So be supportive in this situation. You don't have to, off with their heads, although that is the queen, not the king usually, but whatever. Just, Alice in Wonderland version. Be supportive. Be enlightened. Benefit those in your charge. Wow. All right, bookie book number 2. The Divine Animals Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. A wonderful deck, because if you're going to do the shadow work, call upon those pantheons that are with you anyway. Please take a nice deep break. Please take a nice deep break, really, for wands. Breathe. Ground. As I call upon the spirit animals and totems for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, please. Who walks with them? Who flies with them? Who swims with them? Who crawls with them? Who burrows with them? Who paws the dirt like the bull? With the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, helping them do the shadow work with the King, conflict, 4 of Wands, illuminating the truth and being supportive. This full to new. The Horse. This is such a gorge card. I don't know if you can see it. It's such a light card, but it is a horse. Not a unicorn. A horse. There's no deadly weapon on its head. Running through like a portal of spirit. A spirit door. Card number 24. Really, my only complaint with any divination system, deck, whatever, is when the number on the card, if it's in white ink, look, it's on a white background, I can't see what it is. Horse. It would be different if it was alphabetical, right? It's not alphabetical. No, it is not. Breathe. The Horse. Keyword, freedom. Well, there you go. There you go. Enlightenment is certainly a stage, an experience of freedom. The freedom from illusions, the freedom from shadow is enlightenment. To be truly free, we must learn true independence. Trust yourself, as listening to people who may have other agendas is not the way to make good, clear decisions, my king. Do you have an evil vizier, a grand vizier, whispering in your ear? Do you have a Jafar going on, a Jafar situation? Individuation from our parents is a natural process, although it is often fraught with difficulty on both sides. That's interesting, considering the king is, in a sense, a father patriarchal dynamic. The father is a different archetype, same family though. Your true power resides in your ability to always know you have a choice, and it is yours and your throat chakra choices. In conflict. Let me read you the magic in here. Horse magic. Nay. Horse magic is profoundly free and powerful. To ride a horse at full gallop is to experience a sacred bolt of the most primal liberty. When you are feeling trapped or small, expand your field by calling for their energy. There is also a long history in physical and mental healing with horse energy, and this can be used when you are ill or unstable. Horse energy invokes a calm and solid presence and can be used to quiet your spirit if you are feeling disturbed. Oh, it goes on. Horse magic is also an expression of trust. A powerful horse could go anywhere it wanted, yet it is willing to be led. A person trusts the horse to be sure-footed, leap, and run away from danger, while the horse trusts the human to be its partner, to not hinder, to take care of it, to guide it. It can be a very deep bond if you allow it to be. If you are ever doubting yourself or feeling trapped, like in a conflict maybe. Engage some horsepower, there's a double entendre there. Expand your field by calling for their energy. So Taurus, this is very, very horsepower, right? There it is. But the power of your own freedom, your freedom of choice here. I think you have way more power here than you may realize. And that might be illuminating the truth. That might be illuminating the truth. It's like, you know what? I have way more power here than I think I know I have. Let me alchemize it on the inside so I don't burn down the village. So I don't conquer somebody else's kingdom that I really don't actually want. I'm just angry. Oh, have a Snickers. Okay. Last card down, the hidden blessing from the Blessed Bee, from Lucy Cavendish, the mystical blessing cards to enrich and empower. As fun as this reading has been, we do the blessing for realsies here on the Drawing the Circle Productions YouTube channel. So if you do the healing work, if you do the shadow work, there is lead, toxic, shadow, but do the work. There is gold in them, their leads, right? There is gifts in there. There is a hidden blessing. It's there all along. You can't see it usually until you've done the work, right? And you look back over your shoulder and you realize the whole thing was in divine perfection, hence the pantheon of pantheons. I have consecrated this deck to, empowered this deck with. Because imagine, I don't know, the head of each pantheon throughout time coming together in a larger pantheon. That's what this is. Please take a nice deep breath. Just hits everybody. Just hits everything. As I call upon the pantheon of pantheons, for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, watching this video, receiving this reading, please, what is the hidden blessing the shadow work should reveal to them? This full new moon with the king archetype, so that they can discover their enlightened, benevolent leadership qualities here, benefiting those in their charge, and that is a powerful power to have as the king archetype in the light, but that dealing with this Four of Flames conflict within, with this Four of Wands situation, kind of keeping it stable, knowing that a conflict is coming on the outer, or the Four before the Five, illuminating the truth, that they be willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome, and still yet be supportive, making a genuine effort to show that they actually care, which feels very much part of that Four of Wands, but that they have the freedom to do so, and not to play it small, right? I mean, they don't have to chop anybody's head off, but they can certainly do this with a sense of freedom, with a sense of expansion, that they are free to do as they choose, and they have more power here than they realize. So with all of that considering, shadow work included, what's the hidden blessing for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, this full to new February, March 2022? A blessing for the right words. A blessing for the right words. Throat chakra. What's going to come out your mouth? What's going to come out your mouth? When do you need the right words? Usually when the caca hath hitteth the fan, or is about to. Card number 26. Beautiful card too, but you could say, I don't know, I'm getting a little Tilda Swinton here. I don't know the artist, I don't know their inspiration, but I'm getting a little Tilda, redheaded Tilda. Or Warget Tilda, I love her. Fashion icon, as well as, let's face it, the White Queen from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe for an entire generation. And the Ancient One, is that the right word? Doctor Strange. I always had a thing for Doctor Strange, especially once the Cumberbatch got involved. The Cumberbun. I wouldn't want to be Stephen Strange. I'd want to be his gay younger brother, Scotty Strange. Breathe. Torch of Ariel. Let's do this. Buckle up. Both feet on the floor. Here we go, Taurus. A blessing for the right words. A blessing for apt speech. To call to your lips the right words that speak simply and clearly and find their mark. May the words that fall from your lips be blessed, friend. In times when we must speak of difficult things, like a conflict, it can be a great challenge to conjure up the words that best express our feelings and intent without causing offense or harm to another. Burning down the village. We struggle sometimes with this balance, and in doing so, our words may be watered down, lost in the desire to appease, in the wish to do no harm. But with this blessing, there will be words that come to find you without effort. The words alight by the fires of inspiration, fire, fire, fire all over this reading, and they will flow from your mind to your mouth and be heard fully and fairly, enlightened, benevolent King. May you be blessed this day with speech of good sense, the conversation that clears and clarifies, and most of all, the words that will be heard by those who you need to understand and to listen. Being supportive, make a genuine effort to show you care in that. May you be blessed with the words that stir hearts, that make friends of minds that once were firm against yours. Conflict, conflict, conflict. May your words, like water, seep their way into the cracks of the stone and work their magic of transformation within. Your words are spells, and their magic can take time, but with the apt speech that you are blessed with this day, doors of understanding open up between you and others, and where once fell silent, you will speak up. Where once you faltered and shied away from the difficult things that must be said, you will rise and flow through this challenge and embrace the opportunity to give voice to the darkness. Whoa. Voicing your shadow, but healing your shadow in the process, by the way. Where once you let others speak and heard only your own words in your mind, you will now hear them out in the world and know you have used words as others use weapons, but it is not for battle, rather for courage and understanding. May you find ways to cut through the falsehoods, illuminating the truth, that others and their words can weave about you. Let your words be the songs of praise as they flow from the gift of speech you have been blessed with. May you no longer stay quiet, friend, for you have been blessed with the power of right speech, and it will serve you well each time you sing out your truth. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So mote it be, and so it is. Blessed be, with a blessing for right speech. And it does make sense. That king in you to be benevolent, dealing with the conflict within. You're not spitting it out, you're not swallowing it, you're chewing it, because you know you need this time, this space, this rest, this breath to illuminate the truth, to be prepared for what comes next, and to be supportive, to make that genuine effort to show that you care and express your freedom in doing so. I'm free to do this or not do this, so I'm being supportive of my own free will. And through that, you develop and you gain a blessing for the right words in a situation that feels a little fraught with conflict within and without. So may you be blessed with all of that. And certainly, if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. Help other Taurians find it. Why wouldn't you? This is important, I would say, right? And if you want more of me here on YouTube, subscribe. I'm not stopping anytime soon. I work from home. I live alone. This is my art form. Let's cope with it. And certainly, hit that notification bell, because these are going out when they're supposed supposed to go out. I've taken myself off the treadmill. Why? Because I am on Patreon, patreon.com/DrawingTheCircle. I stream there every morning talking about the lunar astrology, giving a blessing, giving a prayer, and probably a side of fries with that too. So thank you so much for watching. It was my honor, my pleasure, my privilege to use the powers given to me, and I have a little touch of the king archetype, but it's connected to the teacher archetype. That's why you put me in a classroom. Yes, much work. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of all of this, my beloved bulls. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.